Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today we're going to be continuing part 4 of this video series, doing Sally from the Nightmare Before Christmas crochet kit. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in, and for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, hopefully we're going to be finishing the last bits of Sally that we have been doing. We are doing this for righties. If you need this in a lefty, please comment below and I'll make a video for that. We are going to be doing more characters from this book. Our next one is going to be Oogie Boogie, but I am going to throw in a Thanksgiving pumpkin in between using the loom. So if you're wondering where the rest of the characters have gone, it's going to come after that. So I was hoping to get this out yesterday. It didn't. So I'm going to be hoping to get this out today and then work on that pumpkin. And then after the holiday, I can get back to Oogie Boogie, which may give me time to either find the right color yarn or not, because they only give you materials enough to do Jack Skellington and Sally. So whatever else materials you'll need, you'll have to get on your own. But the book is worth getting. These projects are super large, so you are going to end up getting your money's worth with the patterns, because it is a very popular movie and so far so cute. So let's put Sally aside and let's continue with the rest of her dress. So for Sally's dress, it's made of 9 pieces that are crocheted separately and then sewn together with black embroidery thread. Okay, so the bodice right side with yellow. All right, so I have my yellow and we have to chain 3. So like I said, I don't think we're going to be using any more adjustable rings. So if you struggle with them, we won't have to deal with that anymore. But I do have to show you how to cast on. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to cast on. So we're going to take our pinky and ring finger and thumb, and we're going to hold the end of the yarn here, and then I'm going to grab my index and middle finger and hold the yarn about 1.5 inches apart, or 2 inches, whatever's comfortable for you. We're going to put the hook perpendicular to the yarn, and I'm going to go down with the hook, out and around to make a loop around the hook. And let me do this one more time. So perpendicular to the yarn, down, out, and around to make a loop with the yarn. I'm going to take my middle finger and hold it right where it crosses so that I can let go of my left. We're going to gather up some yarn on their finger, and then we're going to pinch the end of this yarn here, and then I'm going to slide the hook down towards the thumb. Where that crosses, you want to pinch with your thumb and your middle finger so that you stabilize your loop and your hook can't go anywhere. Now we're going to yarn over, which is putting the yarn over the hook, and we're going to slip that through the loop. And then I'm going to overhand my hook here with my right hand and pinch the end of that yarn. Now what I want to do is push this knot towards my thumb, making that knot smaller, and you want to push it towards your thumb until you cannot push anymore. And once you hit that stopping point, then you can take your thumb and your middle finger and just pull that excess piece out just a little bit to make that not nice and snug. Jeez. Okay. Then we're going to grab the knot and we're going to slide it up towards the hook, just like that. You want to leave yourself some space because we want to be able to crochet with it. All right, and then you can grab more yarn as you see fit. but we're going to start row 1. So with yellow, we're going to chain 3, skip the first chain from the hook, do 2 single crochet stitches and turn. Okay, so we're going to yarn over. Oh, you can hold the knot here with your middle finger and your thumb. This stabilizes your project so you're not like kind of doing one of these, because that's kind of difficult. But hold the knot, yarn over, pull through the loop. That's 1 chain. We're going to do this 2 more times. Yarn over, pull through the loop. Now you have 2 chains. And we're going to do this 1 more time. Yarn over, pull through the loop, and then we have 3 chains. Okay, so now we're going to skip 1, and we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches. And I know this is tiny, but I still do it anyway. If you've seen the last video, I made this whole spiel on how I don't like to mess up my braid. It looks nice and pretty. Normally, you would just go in and put your hook on the top loop of that braid to do the 2 single crochet stitches, which is fine and correct. What I do is I turn it on its side, and you see these little humps, the humps in the back. I put them in there so that I don't disrupt my braiding, because you never know if that piece is going to show. It just looks nicer. So we're going to skip 1 stitch, and then we're going to put the hook into the next one. Again, you can put it on the top loop, but I'm just going to turn it on its side and put it in the hump in the back. Let's see if I can see that hump there. So here's the braid. Turn it on its side in this hump. Okay, and then you just do a single crochet stitch like we've been doing. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then we're going to do this again to the next stitch. I'm going to turn it on its side. You can see the hump already. Okay, I'm going to put the hook into the hump. I'm going to try to tuck in this little excess piece right here, and then I'm going to yarn over. We're going to pull up a loop, and then we're going to yarn over again and pull through 2 loops. So now I have 2 single crochet stitches, again in a chain stitch. Again, it's tiny, but if I flip it underside, you can still see the braiding. Okay, then we have to turn. So turning is basically turning. If this was a longer piece, it would be easier to explain, but you always, if you're a righty, you always want to have your project ready to go on the left. If it's facing the right, then you reach the last stitch, there's nothing left to do. So you have to turn it and start all over again. And now everything's on the left side, you can continue crocheting. Okay, so for row 2, we have to chain 1 and do a single crochet stitch in both stitches and turn. Oh, this is going to be tiny. Okay, so we're going to chain 1, so yarn over and pull through the loop, and then we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches. So stick into that first stitch, both front and back loops. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the next stitch, front and back loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So we still have our 2 single crochet stitches. So now we have to turn. Okay, so turn, and then we're going to chain 1 and do 1 single crochet stitch, an increasing stitch, and turn to end up with 3 stitches. So we're going to yarn over and chain 1, and basically well, let's do our 1 single crochet stitch. So in the first stitch, put in your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So we have our first single crochet stitch. An increasing stitch is pretty much putting 2 single crochet stitches in 1 stitch. So since this is the last stitch, that one stitch, we're going to stick our hook into it. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then we're going to stick the hook back into that same stitch we just used, and then yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now if we look at it, we have 3 nice beautiful stitches. Okay. So for row 4, we have to, well, first let's turn this. Okay. For row 4, we're going to chain 1 and do a single crochet stitch in all 3 stitches and turn. So yarn over, chain 1, then we're going to do 3 single crochet stitches. So into that first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the last stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and turn. So we have our 3 stitches ready to go. For round 5, we're going to chain 1, do 2 single crochet stitches, an increasing stitch, and turn to end up with 4 stitches. So we're going to chain 1 into the first stitch. We're going to do a single crochet stitch. Into the next stitch, we're going to do another single crochet stitch. And then in the last stitch, we're going to do that increasing stitch. So that's 2 single crochet stitches in this one stitch. So yarn over, pull up a loop. Wait, let me see. I think I stuck my hook into. Make sure you don't break the yarn, that you get all the front and back loops. Sometimes the quality of the thread is not spun very tightly, so you can accidentally put your hook into the yarn like this. I mean, I probably shouldn't because I'll ruin my yarn, but like this. See how it's not all the way in there? I mean, it's going through it. You don't want that. Alright, so let's do our single crochet stitch. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, then into that same stitch, we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and turn. So now we have 4 single crochet stitches. Okay, so for row 6, we're going to chain 1 and do a single crochet stitch in all 4 stitches and turn. So far, so easy. But I think the hard part's going to be sewing it together. So chain 1 and do 4 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and turn. Okay, so for row 7, we're going to chain 1, do 3 single crochet stitches, an increasing stitch, and turn to end up with 5 stitches. So chain 1, let's do 3 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to do our increasing stitch into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. We have our 5 stitches and turn. Okay, so now for round 8, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to do 5 single crochet stitches and turn. Just get some more yarn here. Okay, we're going to chain 1 and then do 5 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then turn. So for round 9, we're going to chain 1, do 4 single crochet stitches, an increasing stitch, and turn to end up with 6 stitches. Yikes. Okay. Chain 1, 4 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then last one we're going to do an increasing stitch. So into the last stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now we have 6 stitches, and we're going to turn. Okay, so now for rows 10 and 11, we have to chain 1 and do 6 single crochet stitches and turn. Okay, so we don't need markers because it's just 2 rows. So let's chain 1 and do 6 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So now, I don't know what's wrong with my language today. We're going to do row 11. So let's turn, chain 1, and do 6 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now we're going to turn. So for row 12, we have chain 1, a slip stitch 3 times, chain 1, 3 single crochet stitches, and turn, and we're going to end up with 3 stitches. Interesting. Okay, so let's chain 1. I'm going to show you how to do a slip stitch 3 times. So into the first stitch, put your hook in. A slip stitch is just yarning over and pulling through everything on your hook. So yarn over, and we're going to pull through this one, and we're going to pull through that one. That's 1, 2 more times. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through that, and then pull through this one. 1 more time. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through that, and pull through the one on your hook here. Okay, so now we have to chain 1, and then we're going to do 3 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3. Keep piercing the yarn here. Okay. 3. Okay, and then we're going to turn. So for row 13, we have to chain 1, do a single crochet stitch, a decreasing stitch, leave the remaining stitches unworked. You'll have 2 stitches. We're going to fasten off and weave the ends. Okay, so chain 1. We're going to do a single crochet stitch in the first stitch. Okay, then we're going to do a decreasing stitch. So let me show you what that is. We're going to go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And so we have our decreasing stitch. It's turning 2 single crochet stitches into 1. All right, and then we're going to leave the remaining stitches unworked. So we're going to fasten off. So since we're fastening it off and it is a small piece, you don't need a lot of extra, maybe an inch or so. And then to fasten off, you just yarn over the hook like this, and you pull it all the way through like that. And then once that's through, you can pull that stitch to be tight, and it'll turn into a knot. And then it says weave. the yarn in here, so I'm just gonna take the yarn and just try to weave it in and out. However you want to do it, there's not really any wrong way to do this. Okay, so now that I have that woven, here's our first piece, and they're numbered, so that's good. Look at this. I'm freaking out. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. That little yellow doesn't even look like it. All right, let's just hope for the best. Okay. Next, piece 2, bodice left side. We're going to use the mauve. That's just a nice name to say, mauve. What is mauve, to be honest? I'm going to have to Google that. This isn't mauve. This is like pink. Let me see. Mauve. Mauve. Yeah, I guess this is mauve. I thought mauve was like more of a deeper color. See, we've got this from mauve. But there you go, I guess. Anyway. Alright, so not this one. They should have just had you do all the yellows at once. Alright, so now I gotta undo this, guys. Not a fan. Okay. Switching out my yellow. All right. So I guess I can repeat rounds 1 through 9 of the right side. I can show you again how I cast on. So ring and pinky and thumb, and then index and middle finger. Hold that apart. We're going to put this perpendicular to the yarn. We're going to go down, out, and around to make the loop. Then I'm going to hold this right here where my middle finger is, so I can let go of my left hand. I'm going to gather up some yarn on my finger, pinch that end. I'm going to drag the hook closer to my thumb, and wherever that crosses, I'm going to pinch it so that I stabilize my loop. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through the loop, and then I'm going to overhand the hook. I'm going to pinch that end piece. Oh goodness. Pinch that end piece, you don't want to lose it. We're going to slide the knot down towards my thumb. So keep pushing that knot until you can't push it anymore. Okay. Then once you hit a stopping point, we're going to pull this end here to make that knot a little snug. Then I'm going to grab the knot and slide it up towards the hook, leaving a little bit of room for me to start crocheting. Okay, so now we're just going to repeat rounds 1 through 9. So let's do this. Okay, so we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip the first stitch and we're going to single crochet in the second. So stick your hook into the second stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And then we're going to do the next stitch into the next stitch here. We're going to tuck in this little back, this little end piece, and then yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops and turn. Okay. Then we're going to chain 1 and then do single crochet stitches in 2 of those stitches. So into the first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and turn. Okay. So for round 3, we're going to chain 1, do 1 single crochet stitch, an increasing stitch, and turn. So chain 1, single crochet stitch, and then an increasing stitch, which is pretty much 2 single crochet stitches into 1. So into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, and turn. For round 4, we're going to do a chain 1 and a single crochet stitch in all 3 stitches. So chain 1 and then 3 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3. If you need the broken down version of this mauve panel, you can just rewind it back to the yellow one, because we're pretty much just repeating rows 1 through 9. So it's pretty much the same thing. So turn. Okay, so for round 5, we're going to chain 1, do 2 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, and then we're going to do an increasing stitch, 1, 2, and then we're going to turn. We are going to end up with 4 single crochet stitches. Okay, so now for row 6, we have to do a chain 1 and a single crochet stitch in all 4 stitches and turn. So chain 1 and let's do 4 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now for round 7, we're going to chain 1 and then we're going to do 3 single crochet stitches, an increasing stitch and turn, and end up with 5 stitches. So let's turn this, chain 1, we're going to do 3 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, 3. We're going to do an increasing stitch, 2, and then we have 5 stitches all together. We're going to turn. So now for row 8, we're going to do a chain 1 and then 5 single crochet stitches. So chain 1 and we're doing 5 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and turn. Okay, so for round 9, the last row that we have to repeat, we have to chain 1, do 4 single crochet stitches, an increasing stitch, and turn to end up with 6 stitches. So chain 1, We're going to do 4 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So now we're on to rows 10 through 13 on this mauve bodice left side. Okay. So we have to chain 1 and do a single crochet stitch in all 6 stitches and turn. Alright, so we may need a marker now. Okay, and I realized I didn't do the increasing stitch yet, so let's do that first. So increasing stitch and 2. So now we have our 6 stitches and we're going to turn. Okay, so now we just do the 6 stitches. Let's mark our project. So front and back loops, mark your last stitch you made. This will be row 10, row 11, 12, and 13. Okay, so turn, chain 1, 6 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, let's just mark off the last stitch. We're now on round 11. Turn. I'm going to chain 1. Then we're going to do 6 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, mark off your last stitch. I made those stitches tighter than I really wanted, so hopefully that doesn't screw me up in the end. So turn, chain 1, 6 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, last row we have to do. Turn, chain 1, 6 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now we have to fasten off and weave ends. I'm going to fasten this off first so I don't have to worry about that. So just cut like about 1 inch or so. We don't need a lot of this yarn. So yarn over and pull that through the loop all the way through. Pull that knot. Now let's remove these markers. We obviously won't be using them anymore. Okay, and then we're just going to weave in and out the yarn. Just want to hide it, so however you do it. Okay. So now we have two pieces. We have the left side and the right side. All right, so now we're going to do bodice number 3, the black. Oh, bodice the back. Did I mention I'm a little tired? All right, let me just, I hate struggling with this thing here. Let me gather some mauve. We're going to be using mauve again, and this is going to be for the back. So with mauve, oh, let's cast on. So one more time, I'll show you guys. So ring, finger, pinky, thumb, hold the end, index and middle, pull the yarn apart. You want to put the hook perpendicular to the yarn. We're going to go down, out, and around. And then I'm going to hold that cross with my middle finger. I'm going to let go of my left hand. I'm going to gather up some yarn here. Then I'm going to pinch the end. And then I'm going to drag the hook close to my thumb. And wherever it crosses, I want to pinch it to stabilize that loop. And we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Then I'm going to overhand my hook. I'm going to pinch that end piece. And then I'm going to start pushing this knot towards my thumb, pushing it to where the knot closes. And once I hit a stopping point, I can take my excess piece here and pull it out to make that knot snug. And then I'm going to slide that knot close to the hook, but I'm going to leave myself some room in this loop so that I can start working. Okay. Now for row 1 with the mauve, we're going to chain 9, skip the first stitch from first chain from the hook, and then 8 single crochet stitches in turn. So again, hold your project at the knot, and that's why you want that room, so it's above your finger. If it was too close, you really wouldn't have much movement. Okay, we're going to yarn over, pull through the loop to make a chain, and we're going to do 8 more of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's count 9 in total. 3, 6, 9. All right. Now we're going to skip the first chain, and then I'm going to stick my hook into the second one, but I'm going to turn it on its side and put it at that hump. Okay, so right here, and I'm going to work my single crochet stitch. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now I just have to do this 7 more times. Oops. Just kick something. Okay, 7 more times into the next stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops into the next stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. See how the underside is pretty? In this case it works because you are going to be seeing, it's going to be exposed. Sometimes you sew it into something and you're never going to see it. I mean, maybe some you don't see, but you'll be able to see some. Okay. So I did 3 with you. I have to do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to try to tuck in this piece. It's pretty small, so I don't know if I'll be able to tuck it in. Okay, so now we have 8 stitches here. Alright, so for rows 2, 3, and 4, we're going to chain 1 and then do 8 single crochet stitches. So let me just mark this last stitch because it's 3 rows, I know, but anything can happen. I can get phone calls or something. No, I don't know. My memory can just go. 2, 3, 4. Okay. So turn. We're going to chain 1 and we're going to do 8 single crochet stitches. So into the first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. 7 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. Mark the last stitch. Oops. Turn. Chain 1. 8 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, last row. Turn. Chain 1, 8 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. So now for row 5, we're going to chain 1, an increasing stitch, 6 single crochet stitches, an increasing stitch, and turn to have 10 stitches. So let me just remove these first. Okay, let me gather up some yarn here. Okay. All right, so turn. We're going to chain 1. We're going to do an increasing stitch into the first stitch. Then we're going to do 6 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to do an increasing stitch. And then we're going to turn. Okay. So for row 6, we have to chain 1, increasing stitch, 8 single crochet stitches, increasing stitch, turn, and end up with 12 stitches. So chain 1, in the first stitch, we're going to do an increasing stitch. Okay, then we're going to do 8 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we're going to do an increasing stitch. Okay, and then we're going to turn. So now for rows 7 and 8, so for the next 2 rows, we're going to chain 1 and do 12 single crochet stitches. So chain 1 and then 12 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. We're going to do this one more time. I need more yarn. Okay, so one more row of 12, so turn. We're going to do chain 1 and then 12 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Turn. Okay. So for row 9, we're going to chain 1, do 6 single crochet stitches, turn, leaving the remaining stitches unworked. Okay. So chain 1, 6 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to turn. Row 10, we're going to chain 1, we're going to decreasing stitch, 4 single crochet stitches and turn and end up with 5. So chain 1, and then we're going to do a decreasing stitch. So into the first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. We made 2 stitches into 1, and then we're going to do 4 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Turn. Okay. So now for row 11, we're going to chain 1, do 3 single crochet stitches, a slip stitch, and end up with 4 stitches. Okay, so chain 1, we're going to do 3 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do a slip stitch. So into the next stitch, we're going to yarn over and pull through everything, and then we have to fasten off and weave the end. So cutting about an inch or so. Okay, we're going to fasten this off, yarn over, pull all the way out, pull that knot a little tighter, and then we're just going to weave the ends here. Okay. I don't know. I guess it's supposed to look like that. Alright. Okay. Piece 4 and 5, the sleeve. Make 2. 1 yellow and 1 teal. Let's put them all away. I mean, I get it. This is her outfit. I mean, it's very ambitious. Personally, no. Like, give me a felt something or pre-made something. I mean, clearly we're doing this, you know. But I'm intimidated. I'm not gonna lie. We gotta sew these jigsaw puzzle pieces together, and I love jigsaws, so don't get me wrong, but this doesn't, it's not even a puzzle, it's like pieces, and which lead to sewing and patterns, and that's definitely out of my league. Alright, so I'm gonna cast on. If you need a refresher, just rewind back to the other pieces, but I pretty much went over this. I have comments about going slow through the whole video, and that's just impossible. I've been breaking between pieces, so I don't really know how long this video is so far, but you can only imagine that if I did break down everything and did everything slow, we would be sitting here forever. And I'm sure that's what we're doing. But video upload wise, that would probably not post as soon as I'd want it. But it's understandable. I repeat my steps at least 3 times so that, you know, you can kind of get the gist of what I'm doing. And then you can always rewind if you need to check it out again. Alright, so I have the yellow first because I already have it undone. I'm going to chain 5. So yarn over and pull through the loop, yarn over, pull through the loop, yarn over, pull through the loop, 2 more times, we have our 5. Now skip the first chain from the hook and we're going to do 4 single crochet stitches. So we're skipping the first one and we're going to do 4 single crochet stitches. And this piece is very tiny, so I don't think I'll be able to tuck it in. Or maybe. Okay, we have our 4. All right, for rows 2 and 4, so 2, 3, 4, we're going to chain 1. Oh. Okay, so we're going to chain 1 and increasing stitch, single crochet stitch into the last stitch, increasing increasing stitch in the last stitch and turn. So at the end of 4 rows we should have 10 stitches. All right, so this is where we need to pay attention. So turn, we're gonna chain 1. Okay, we're gonna do our increasing stitch, so into the first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So we have to do a single crochet stitch until the last stitch. So we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, and in our last stitch we're going to do an increasing stitch. Okay. And I'm going to mark off our last stitch since we are keeping track of our rows this time, and turn. So now I'm going to, just so that you can check, we have 6 stitches. Okay. So you want to chain 1. We're going to do an increasing stitch into the first stitch. 2. And then we're going to do a single crochet stitch until the last stitch. So we're going to do 4 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then into our last stitch we're going to do an increasing stitch. 1, 2, we're going to mark that off, and just so that you can check, I think we're supposed to have 8, so let's just double check. 3, 4, 3, okay, yes, 8, turn. So we're going to chain 1. We're going to do an increasing stitch into the first stitch. 1, 2. Then we're going to do 6 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to do an increasing stitch. 1, 2, and we should have 10 altogether. So just count back. 3, 5, 3, 10. Okay, so we're good. We can remove these markers. All right. Now for row 5, we're going to chain 1 and do a single crochet stitch in all 10 stitches, fasten off and weave in the ends. Okay, so turn, chain 1 and do 10 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so now we have to fasten off and weave ends. Alright, so again, you can cut about an inch or so, leave an inch or so, I mean. We're going to fasten this off and weave the ends. And then we just have to do this again with teal. So we'll be pulling that out for the first time. I love my teals. I mean, clearly you can cut this even shorter. I like to leave it long so that if it stretches, it doesn't automatically like pull all the way out, you know. But again, I'm not a seamstress or anything, so I don't know what the proper way is. Okay, got our first sleeve here. I'm gonna put this yellow away, and then I've got my teal right here. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing with this color. Yikes. Okay. How much of this is? Almost there. So after this, we only have 3 more pieces left. Yay. Okay. I'll normally do this off frame, off camera, but since it's a new color we're introducing, I really should have done the first one with teal then. But anyway, we'll see how long this video ends up going. So we're going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to skip the first chain, and then we're going to do 4 single crochet stitches. Oh. Okay, and turn. So, oh, we have rows 2, 3, and 4 again. Okay, this is the same thing. This is probably good that we do this over again with you guys, because I hate these when they increase per row and they don't really, they just try to like bunch it in a grouping. It gets annoying. Okay, so let's turn. We're going to chain one. We're going to do an increasing stitch into the first stitch. 1, 2. We're going to do 2 single crochet stitches next. 1, 2, and then we're going to do an increasing stitch at the last stitch. 1, 2. So we should have 6 in total, or yeah, 6 in total, I think. Yep. Okay. Mark off the last stitch. We're going to turn. So we're going to chain one. We're going to increasing stitch into the first stitch. 1, 2. Okay. And then we're going to do 4 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do an increasing stitch at the last stitch. 1, 2, and we should have 8 single crochet stitches in the end. Let's mark this off. Okay. 4, 8. All right, turn. We're going to do this one more time. So chain one. Into the first stitch, we're going to do an increasing stitch. Let's see, 3, 6, 8. Okay. Increasing stitch. Then we're going to do 7 single crochet stitches. Or was it 6? Yeah, 6, sorry, 6 single crochet stitches. Yikes. Six. All right, and then in the last stitch, we're going to do an increasing stitch. 1, 2. This teal one, it's even looser than the others. I keep sticking my hook through it. All right, so here you should have 10 altogether. 3, 5, 3, 5. We're going to remove the markers. Okay. So now for row 5, we're going to chain 1 and do 10 single crochet stitches in every stitch and then fasten off and weave. So this one was fairly simple. Oh, turn, chain 1, 10 single crochet stitches. Oh, I did it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut this off. We're going to fasten it off. And then I'm going to weave the end. Okay. Alrighty then. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. I left this little nubby out. Alright, with the teal again, we're going to do a piece of the skirt. Gather up some yarn here. Okay. So again, we're going to cast on. We're going to do 6 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Skip the first chain from the hook and then do 5 single crochet stitches and turn. So skip the first chain into the next one, single crochet stitch, 4 more, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so for rows 2 through 20, we have to chain 1 and do 5 single crochet stitches and turn. Okay, so we will be marking this off. This is round 2, or row 2. All right, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, oh no, 17, 18, 19, 20. I think I just made it. Okay, so you guys definitely invest in these markers. Oh, look, I have a better one here. Let's trade it. I like it when it's wide open. All right. So the kit comes with like 4 or 5, I believe. It would be great, like I said in my previous videos, to invest in these markers, because when you have situations like this, you don't have to keep, like, you know, you would have to undo one and put it all the way in the top and remember, like, you know, unless you do increments of 5 or 2 or whatever to get to your 20. In my case, I can do row by row and not worry about it. So definitely invest in these. You can find them on Amazon or your hobby store. Alright, let me go grab a decent amount of teal now, because I'm going to be doing rows of this. And I'll be doing this in silence, of course, for your public viewing in my voice to save it, because it's already in shambles. But, I mean, this is kind of fun. It's like, it is intimidating. I'm not looking forward to sewing these pieces together, but they're small pieces. I love it when a project is small. When it gets larger is when I'm having a nightmare. So the pumpkin that I'm doing is rather large, I think, so I might have a nightmare with that one. All right, now that I got my yarn, I'm just going to roll this up, and then we're going to start. If you've completed any of these, anything that I've posted since starting crochet, I am a nail channel, and crochet was a happy accident. I've had friends ask me for some help, and we are a distance apart, so one alternative is to share these videos with them, and then that's how this whole thing happened. So I'm really glad that I get to help people out with these things. But yeah, if there's anything that you want me to look at, whether you complete it or not, you can always go to my About section. I have an email, I have Instagram, I have Twitter. You could always DM me. It'd be nice to see your projects, and especially if you have any questions, or if there's any instructions that you really need help on, rather than having to wait for me to go get it or go find it, you could always take a photo of those instructions and email them to me, or what have you, DM, and I can figure it out. But just make sure the images are clear, because sometimes I get them and I can't read them and I just end up not doing it. So all right, let's do this in silence. Okay, so we finished this 20th row. It's so crazy, like, you know, when you do these things in pieces, you don't know how they're gonna come together. Like, this is supposed to be a skirt. Yes, I am highly skeptical most times. But all the rewarding when it does actually work out. Well, I love this color, by the way. So I'm just going to remove these markers, and then we're going to fasten this off and move on to the last 3 pieces. Okay, so I'm going to cut this. We have to weave the ends, so we don't need much. Fasten it off. I'm looking forward to Oogie Boogie, by the way, because Jack Skellington was complicated. Sally, not so much, but we haven't sewn yet. But Oogie Boogie looks like he's going to be a lot simpler, so it'd be nice to have a little break. But, I don't know when you guys are watching this. This is the week of Thanksgiving, and I don't know if you celebrate it. You know, I do remember, we keep in mind the history and everything of Thanksgiving, and, not necessarily next, Thanksgiving, but, like, everything that entails what, you know, history back then, but we do it more so for the dinners, which is my favorite meal of the year. Not Christmas, not Easter, even though I love corned beef, but love turkey dinners, so we'll be celebrating that. So wherever stage you are in celebrating Thanksgiving, even if it's just time off from work, I hope you have a nice, happy, and safe Thanksgiving. Yeah. Okay. So we're doing yellow now. Okay. With yellow, there's no, they're not telling you to do black in anything. Okay, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So with yellow, let's cast on, actually. I'm going to grab some yarn here while I read the instructions. So for row 1 with the yellow, we are going to chain 3. We're going to skip the first chain from the hook and do 2 single crochet stitches and turn. Okay, so now that we have this ready to go, let's do 3 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip the first chain and we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches. 1, 2. Okay, then we're going to turn. Right from the bat. Alright, so let's mark off our last stitch because we have to do 7 up to the 7th row. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So we're going to chain 1, do an increasing stitch, single crochet in all stitches, and turn. Oh no. 8 stitches at the end of row 7. So we have 2 so far. So we're going to chain 1. We're going to do an increasing stitch into the first stitch. 1, 2. Then we're going to do a single crochet stitch. 1. And then we're going to mark off our last stitch. And we have 3 stitches all together. And turn. We're going to chain 1. We're going to do an increasing stitch into the first stitch. 1, 2. Then we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches. 1, 2. Then we're going to mark the last stitch. So you should have 4 stitches all together. And turn, chain 1, an increasing stitch. 1, 2. Then we're going to do 3 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Mark off the last stitch. I don't know if we skipped one. Added one. You should have 5 single crochet stitches. So turn, chain 1. We're going to do an increasing stitch. 1, 2, and then we're going to do 4 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to mark off our last stitch. You should have 6 single crochet stitches all together. We're going to turn, chain 1. We're going to do an increasing stitch. 1, 2. We're going to do 5 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You should have 7 stitches all together. We're going to mark the last stitch and turn, chain 1, do an increasing stitch in the first stitch. And then we're going to do 6 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Oh, we're changing to black. Okay. Should have read that far ahead. Let me show you how it changed to black. So you see how we did... screw it. Okay. Let's remove the markers. Okay, I'm going to take my black, and my black is my black. I used up all the black from the kit. So I'm going to pull this out here. Alright, a long loop so I can remove the hook. Set this aside. I'm going to cast on my black. You can tell it's a lot thicker and it's not fraying as easy as the other yarn. But that's the quality you get buying yarn at the store versus getting it from a kit. Usually the ones in a kit are not that great. Okay, so we have black. I'm going to remove this off our hook now. I want to put it back into our project and tighten up the loop a little bit. We are changing to black. So for rows 8 through 11, so let's just mark off. We have to do row 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So let's turn the project. Now it's telling us that we're going to end up chaining 1, increasing stitch. Oh, another one of these. Single crochet stitches in all stitches. And then by the end of row 11, we should have 12 stitches. Okay, so rather than pick up this yellow one, right? I'm going to slip on the black. Gather up some yarn here. So for our chain 1, we're just going to chain 1 with the black. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do an increasing stitch into the first stitch. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this yellow kind of in line with the stitches here. I want to like pick up this yellow. So this is different from the amigurumi color changes because it's just different. I want to hide this yellow now because I'm going to be weaving it in place, or stitching it in place. So pick up that yellow, make sure it's up behind the hook. We're going to stick the hook into the first stitch. Okay, so this yellow should be laying over the hook. If you see here, it's laying over it. Alright, so now I'm going to yarn over with the black and pull up a loop to do our increasing stitch. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2 loops into the same stitch. Make sure that yellow is still on top of the hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now what I'm going to do, I normally tie it around with the amigurumi, but since this is going to be like it's visible on both sides, I'm just going to cut off like, I don't know, 3/4 or the length of the rest of the way, a little shorter than the length of the rest of the way. And I'm going to show you why. I'm going to crochet the yellow into the project. Okay, and I'll show you how to do that. So we did our increasing stitch, and then we're going to do single crochet stitches all the way down. So if we know that there's 8 stitches, we used 1, we have to do 7 more single crochet stitches. We're going to stick our hook into the next stitch. Again, you always want to make sure that this yellow excess piece is lying on top of the hook. If it's under it like that, that's not right. So stick your hook into the next stitch and make sure this is lying on top of it. So then we're going to do our single crochet stitch. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So you see what we're doing, we're actually crocheting this excess piece into the stitches. So let's do this again, into the next stitch, make sure this is on top, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. One more time with you guys, into the next stitch, make sure this is on top, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and I just have to do this 4 more times. 1, to, and then it might be short, this yellow piece. That's fine. That's exactly what we want. We want to hide it into the stitching. 1, 9, and then we're going to mark off the last stitch. You should have 9 in total. We're going to turn. We're going to do this all over again. So, chain 1. We're going to do an increasing stitch into the first stitch. 1, 2. We're going to do this 8 more times. So, single crochet, 8 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Mark off the last stitch. So you should have 10 stitches in total. We're going to turn. We're going to, let me get some yarn here. We're going to turn. And then we're going to chain 1. And then we're going to do 9 more of single crochet stitches. Oh wait, we didn't do the increasing stitch yet. Chain 1, we're going to do the increasing stitch. 1, 2, and then we're going to do 9 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Mark off the last stitch. We should have 11 stitches in total. We're going to turn, chain 1, do an increasing stitch, then we're going to do 11 stitches, single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we should have 12 in total now. I'm going to remove all these markers. Alright, so for round 12, we are chaining 1, skipping a stitch, slip stitching in 1 stitch, chain 1, 8 single crochet stitches, turn, and leaving the remaining stitches unworked. Okay. So, chain 1, let's turn, chain 1, we're going to skip a stitch, so we're skipping the first stitch, we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch, okay, then we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do 8 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, leaving the rest unworked, and then we're going to turn. So now for row 13, we're going to chain 1, do 8 single crochet stitches, and turn, leaving the remaining stitches unworked. So chain 1, we're going to do 8 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and turn. Okay, so for row 14, we got to chain 1, do a decreasing stitch, 4 single crochet stitches, a decreasing stitch, and turn. We're going to end up with 6 stitches. So chain 1, we're going to do a decreasing stitch. So into the first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and then we're going to do 4 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we're going to do another decreasing stitch. So into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, over, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and then we have to turn. So for the 15th and last row, we have to chain 1, do a decreasing stitch, 2 single crochet stitches, decreasing stitch, end up with 4 stitches. So chain 1, we're going to do a decreasing stitch. So into the first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, 2 single crochet stitches, and then we're going to do another decreasing stitch. So into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So now we have to fasten off and weave the ends. So just an inch or so. Yarn over, pull all the way through, tighten up the knot, and then we're going to weave this in and out. Oh my gosh. Not good with this weaving. All right, enough of that. All right, I don't know. Okay. Now we're going to do piece number 8 with the mauve. You should just all have you do the same color so you don't have to keep changing. All right, let me get this out. Okay, let me get some yarn here. This one looks like it's going to be a long one. I don't know, like, already how long this video is. I mean, I'm really hoping to sew everything together in one video. But at least we have 2 more pieces left. Okay, I'm just going to cast on here. Okay, so for piece 8 with the mauve, we gotta chain 2, skip the first stitch from the hook, and then do 1 single crochet stitch and turn. Holy bejesus. Okay, so yarn over twice. Yarn over and chain twice. Okay, we're skipping the first stitch and we're gonna stick our hook into the next one. I'm going to try to hide this piece. We're going to do our single crochet stitch. So we have our 1 single crochet stitch here. And then we have to turn that. And then for row 2, we're going to chain 1, increasing stitch and turn. End up with 2 stitches. So turn, chain 1, increasing stitch in first stitch. The only stitch. Okay, now we have 2 and we're going to turn. Row 3, chain 1, increasing stitch, 1 single crochet stitch, turn, and end up with 3 stitches. So chain 1, increasing stitch, 1, 2, do a single crochet stitch. We end up with 3. We're going to turn, chain 1, 2 single crochet stitches, increasing stitch, turn, and 4 stitches. End up with 4 stitches at the end. Okay, so chain 1, chain 1, 2 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, do an increasing stitch. And then we have 4 stitches. We're going to turn. Okay. Round 5, we have to chain 1, increasing stitch, 3 single crochet stitches, turn, and end up with 5 stitches. So chain 1, increasing stitch, do 3 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, 3, so we have 5 stitches. We're going to turn. For row 6, we're going to chain 1, 4 single crochet stitches, increasing stitch, turn, and end up with 6 stitches. So chain 1, 4 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do an increasing stitch, and then we have 6 stitches in the end, and turn. So now for rows 7 through 25. Oh, okay, let's mark off row 7. The last stitch to indicate row 7. Next. Okay, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay. So for 7 through 25, we have to chain 1 and do a single crochet stitch in all 6 stitches and turn. So we're going to do this in silence. My voice is getting a little harsh, like real bad. All right, be right back. Okay, we finished rows 7 through 25, and we're going to do 26. Let me remove all these markers while I read the instructions. So for row 26, we have to chain 1 and do 4 single crochet stitches, a decreasing stitch, and turn to get 5. This is a long piece. Okay. All right, let me gather up some yarn here. Whoops. Okay. And we only have 5 more rows to go, you guys, and then one last piece. And then we gotta try sewing it together. Okay. Let's turn our project. We're gonna chain 1. We're gonna do 4 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're gonna do a decreasing stitch into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. We have 5 stitches. Turn. So for row 27, we're going to chain 1, decreasing stitch, 3 single crochet stitches, turn, and have 4 stitches. So chain 1, we're going to do a decreasing stitch, so into the first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. We're going to do 3 single crochet stitches, 2, 3, and turn, and we're going to have 4 stitches there. So for row 28, we're going to chain 1, do 2 single crochet stitches, decreasing stitch, and turn to end up with 3 stitches. So chain 1, we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, then we're going to do a decreasing stitch, and then we have 3 stitches in the end. Turn. So for row 29, we're going to chain 1, decreasing stitch, 1 single crochet stitch, turn, and end up with 2 stitches. So chain 1, do a decreasing stitch, a single crochet stitch, and then we have 2 stitches left. We're going to turn. For row 30, we're going to chain 1 and do a decreasing stitch and end up with 1 stitch. So chain 1, we're going to do a decreasing stitch, and we're left with 1 stitch. So we have to fasten off and weave the ends. So we're going to cut this off here. Then we're going to weave the ends. Okay. Now I'm going to put away my mauve because we have one more piece left to make, and it's going to be in yellow. You get some yarn here. This one only has 6 rows, so let's hope for the best. Okay, fasten on. Cast on. All right. Now with the yellow, oh man, 6 rows, but it's a lot. So with the yellow, we're going to chain 23, skip the first chain from the hook, and then do 22 single crochet stitches and turn. Just when you thought it was safe. Okay, got my yarn. Okay, 23 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Now you always want to double count when it's something this long. So 5, 10, 15, 20, and 3. All right. So we're going to skip the first chain, and we're going to do 22 single crochet stitches. So skipping the first one, I'm going to do 22 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and I'm going to try to hide this. Okay, 22. All right. Now for row 2, we're going to chain 1. Let's bring this down. We're going to chain 1, skip a stitch, slip stitch, chain 1, and do 18 single crochet stitches, turn, leaving remaining stitches unworked. Okay, so let's chain 1. I forgot to turn. Okay, we're going to skip the first stitch. We're going to slip stitch into the next one. So stick your hook in there, yarn over, pull through everything. That's a slip stitch. Then we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do 18 stitches, 18 single crochet stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay. So now for row 3, we're going to chain 1, skip a stitch, slip stitch, and then do a chain 1 and do 14 single crochet stitches, turn, leaving the remaining stitches unworked. So turn your project, chain 1, we're going to skip the first stitch, we're going to slip stitch into the second one here, then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to do 14 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay, need to get some more yellow yarn here. Jeez Louise, struggle is real. It's getting towards the end, and as I tell you, it gets all bunched. So it gets real frustrating to work with. And that's because they spool it just so horribly. Like, I get it, you have to fit it in the box, but it's not user-friendly. Okay, so now for row 4, we're going to chain 1, skip a stitch, slip stitch, do a chain stitch, and then 10 single crochet stitches, turn, leaving the remaining stitches unworked. Okay, so turn your project, we're going to chain 1, we're going to skip the first stitch, we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch, then chain 1, and then we're going to do 10 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So for round 5, we are going to chain 1, skip the first stitch, slip stitch, do a chain 1, and do 6 single crochet stitches, turn, leaving the remaining stitches unworked. So turn your project, chain 1, we're going to skip 1, we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch, we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do 6 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So for our last round, turn your project. We're going to chain 1, skip 1, slip stitch, chain 1, 2 single crochet stitches, fasten off and weave the ends. Okay, so chain 1, skip the first stitch. We're going to slip stitch into the next one. Then we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, and then we're going to fasten off. Oh my gosh. It's always nice when you're almost over, when you're almost done. Okay. Fasten off. We're going to weave this in and out of the project. Okay. I don't know, look at these pieces. Okay. Following the illustrations, pin the dress pieces in position on Sally's body using 2 strands of black embroidery thread and sewing needle. Sew the pieces together. Use straight stitches to create patch stitches along the edge of edges of pieces as shown. Using 2 strands of black embroidery thread and sewing needle, and straight stitch the French knots to create the dresses shown in the photos. Oh no, I hate the French knots. I have no idea how to do these, you guys, so spoiler alert. Embroider scars on the visible parts of the legs, arms, and neck to complete Sally. Alright. I hate to say this, but I need to look at my phone and see how long this video is. If it's already over 2 hours, I have to put this on a separate video. There's just no way it's going to be able to, you know, process and upload the video if it's way over. So let me check. Be right back. Okay, you guys, I looked at it and we're looking at 2.5 hours. It might be a little shorter with editing, but let's go back to the illustration real quick. This one right here, and just put the pieces together and see like how I'm supposed to sew these guys up. Yeah, I apologize. This is gonna have to be a separate video, the sewing, because I'm not a sewer, and I know that's going to take me a year and a day. And like this video if you agree, because you might be struggling as well. Please let me know I'm not alone. But yeah, so I guess we've got to do, it's going to be like one of these. This is a lot. And you gotta pin it to the body. They don't even give you needles, so I don't know how that's gonna happen. But yeah, so I've got to sew these pieces together. like this, kind of. Oh, yeah. I don't know. At any rate, thank you so much, you guys, for watching. Sorry this is gonna have to be a 5-parter. I didn't realize how intricate Sally really is. Comes to show. Looks can be deceiving. So, and I still have to sew the scars on her body. But we will do that in the part 5. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining me today. I really appreciate your patience with this. You know, we're kind of hand in hand working with each other to try to get this done. I know it's a huge thing, especially for a beginner. So comment below, let me know if you're good at sewing, because I'm going to struggle next video. So don't hate, please. At any rate, thank you so much for watching. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos. And I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.